committed ourselves about 3 years ago, together working together with civil society, the media, and all stakeholders as we move on. We have missed 2 briefings, that is to say, in October and January, because you are busy politicking. I hope now your heads are back, so that we go back to the economy. That's why we delayed, because at that time nobody could listen to us. We eat performance, ladies and gentlemen. We don't eat politicking. But let me stop there. Now we should go back to the economy and move forward. But having said that, let me do this. We are back to normal. We now want to brief you to continue our budget transparency process, because we manage the budget together. Today, we will follow we'll do it as follows. I'll make some few remarks, then followed by civil society, I hope. That's what we had agreed on what we have seen during the monitoring of the budget process and the economy management. And then we'll go for general briefing. I've also brought in today Teachers Association, because I would want them to tell us what now they say, which we have been on the reform together. See whether teachers are now being paid, pensioners, teachers, whether they are getting paid and on time and efficiently or not. And now, if not, then we need to deal with those issues. But they must also tell us if now teachers are paid efficiently, are they teaching? Are they being supervised? And if not, why not? Because we want a system now where we enter the new era of a new system whereby emphasis is going to be performance. But let me start like this. This financial year marks the first year of full implementation of Public Finance Management Act 15, which was enacted March 15, and it is also the first year of the implementation of NDP2. The successful conclusion of 16 general elections has played an important role in restoring investor confidence. This has been particularly visible in recent strengthening of the shilling and improved flows from exports, NGO remittances, and offshore investments, and reduction in the central bank that has followed rate. We therefore expect, because like all economies, small economies all over the world, which have been shocked by external shocks, we expect to get 5% instead of earlier on projected 5.8. Largely because you remember about a year ago, there was exchange rate depreciation across all currencies against, because of the dollar which had strengthened. And what commodities prices went down. These have shocked the economy. So when you have 5% growth, worldwide is one of the best performances, because Sub-Saharan Africa is now projected to 2.2, 3.2 growth, so we are above that one. But others are also projected to have much lower growth than that one. We have continued to enhance public finance management reforms for better accountability and service delivery through enactment of Public-Private Partnership Act 15, rollout of the single treasury account, as we know, and full implementation of FMIS, IPPS, or MDs and local governments. Other reforms in progress include transiting from output-based budgeting to program-based budgeting, the form of intergovernmental fiscal transfers in order to make resource allocation to local governments more transparent and efficient. Appointment of accounting officers based on internal and external audits and full accountability of resources, as you may have been seen in the press. Implementation of the recommendation of the budget monitoring and accountability reports, among others. I should also say our commitment to raising money in an efficient way on a quarterly basis and on time. That is the 14th of July, 14th of October, 14th of January, and 14th of April has continued religiously 100%. So nobody can say we released money late. The last 3 years. Now, we also carried, of course, as you know, but I will come to them later. Let me also go back to the macroeconomic areas. In spite of area loan, all of you over speculating that the government of Uganda in the first of elections was going to, and I told you are going to eat your words. That the government of Uganda was going to overspend, I call it. And therefore, so because of this huge overspeculation, it also, from our modeling, showed that your rate exchange rate depreciates faster than other currencies had happened. I am happy we kept our word, managed the economy very well. In fact, what we are facing is an appreciation of the shilling faster, and inflation is projected not to be, it was end of March, I think, 6.2, just around our target, our usual target of 5%, and is projected by end of the financial year, which is June, to remain around our target, which is around 5%, to remain in single digit. I'm therefore proud, together with the governor of Central Bank and my team here, that we manage the economy very well, in spite of your wow. And I think those who over-speculated have eaten their words. If they have not had it rough when they were pushing the shilling up in terms of money. Let me go to revenue performance. Your revenue target of 15-16 is 11.7 billion, and non-tax revenue target is 553. The cumulative URA revenue correction up to the end of the third quarter, that is to say end of March, for tax, both of them, amounted to 8.2 billion, against a target of 8.3 billion, roughly 3.4. That's recording an overall performance rate of 97.62. I just don't, the details, you find them in the press release. I just want to say this was mainly because around January and February, there was a lot of holidays. And therefore, revenue was off target in March, but we see it starting to recover. Again, as I said, reflecting strong economy which was there. So we expect by the end to have some shortfalls. On expenditure performance for 15-16, the total approved budget for financial year 15-16 amounted to roughly 24 billion. Trillion, sorry. the total government budget releases for central government amounted to 8.5 trillion for quarter 1-3, which is approximately 78% of the approved government budget. This excludes, of course, the external financing and debt and the debt. At the end of the financial year, on April 8th, this ministry issued expenditure limits for the first quarter amounting to 2.3 trillion, excluding, of course, external and domestic debt payments. It is important, therefore, to note that despite the supplementary pressures which people are quoting, quarter 4, expenditure requirements have been fully catered for the following. We continue to provide 100% wages, pensions, and gratuity by accounting officers, and I'll come to that one later on. I've requested. We have reduced recurrent expenditures in also priority areas of security, statutory, and drugs in the universities. It is also important to note that transfer to health centers, all funds have been released as budgeted for 15-16. School capitation grant, we have also, for the new rearrangement, and money have been released or will be released as per plan. Development budget will be slightly lower than usual, but will be much released or has already been released. Let me go to salaries and pension and gratuity. My ministry, led by my ministry, government took a major step to decentralize the processing and payment of wages, pension and gratuity, so as to improve the overall management of salaries, pension, and gratuity, and make the respective accounting officers for accountable. This reform has so far registered significant benefits as follows. Of course, that's the purpose of transparency. Not what I've said. Those from civil society and teachers association, if I'm wrong, they should say so. I will not hang them for that. That's what we want to prove. This reform has so far registered significant benefits as follows. Eliminating ghost pensioners that had previously been difficult to weed out. Time and also cost are also on the salary payroll. Time and access to payroll and payment of government employees and pensioners, with the majority now receiving their pay by between 23rd and 8th of the month. 3. Enhanced supervision of staff by the accounting officers, which we want. I will come to that one later. Significant reduction of salary and pension areas, and establishment of career accountability centers for all salaries, pension, and gratuity payments. However, despite the above achievements, the decentralized salary and pension payment system continues to experience a number of operational challenges which must be dealt with immediately. 1. Unbudgeted for current of staff, leading to wage bill shortfall and persistent supplementary. Some accounting officers underestimate and ask for during implementation less money than the people they have on payroll, and we still have that vibration. 2. Delayed verification access of the pensioners on the payroll, including staff who were previously on the centralized payroll. That has delayed, but largely this has been solved now. But you remember that we carried the reform since July, and between July and the end of the first half, majority of these people are not yet paid. But now they have been paid. But this was the result of a delay in accounting. But they are still there, so we need to eliminate all of them. Failure by some accounting officers that have the payroll, salary, and pension management guidelines. And 4. Delayed remittance of salary deductions, such as in payee, local service tax, and loan recoveries. This financial year 15-16, we have budgeted for 408.7 billion, including supplementary for of pension and gratuity, of which 384 billion has been released. Of the released funds, 264.5 billion has been spent as of 31st March under the decentralized system. So you can see there is significant, and we are trying to understand why. We released 384, but only 265.4 billion were used by end of March, which means there is significant money, noise going on. So we don't know whether these were ghosts or people have not been verified real. And we urge we cannot continue like this. We need to clean it and move forward. But we believe that reflects significant cleaning up of the payroll of the ghosts. Under the new system, accounting officers are required to verify the pensioners before payment of pension and gratuity, including payment of pension and gratuity areas. Now we move to a new area of reform which we want to work as a team together. That is public service delivery. The public finance management reforms undertaken by the government have significantly reduced leakage of public funds. And we have strengthened that front. I guess that's why, if I'm correct, I didn't see corruption as being a major issue during elections. It was service delivery. Our focus now is to improving service delivery. We have observed that service delivery has been constrained by rate initiation and completion of procurements, delayed remittance of funds to user departments, not by us, but by the accounting officers, delays in approval of designs and other works by supervision consultants, inadequate human resources, inadequate monitoring and follow-up of programs at local government level, delayed acquisition of right-of-way, poor planning in ministries, delayed civil works due to hiring of local capacity contractors and poor contract management. And, mark my word, and the worst one, poor supervision and management of the service of the whole of the, not at political level, but at implementation it is civil servants led by permanent secretaries and cows. Improving the entire government project cycle management process with focus on major projects is going to be our clear focus and fight. Enforcing efficiency in government expenditure to improve absorption of funds and ensure timely completion of projects. We see a lot of money not being absorbed, and that's going to be our focus, which we must now focus on. Strengthen the operational capacity of key institutions, which is like going on like on UNRWA, and you got a lot of funds to ensure proper planning, procurement, and of works. But this one is ongoing. Remember that there was a reform, a new person was brought in. The performance orientation of the budget by focusing on achievements of service delivery results, outcomes, rather than outputs. Let me explain. We may deliver the outputs. For example, if I'm just giving an example, that's not real. You may immunize all the kids, but if the drug, is it a drug? What vaccine is dead, you will not get the outcome. In other words, children will get measles and other diseases. And that's, this time now we had, in the first phase of the last 3 years, we are focusing on outputs and corruption. Now we are moving on outputs. If you took money to plant so many seedlings of coffee, 2 or 3 years down the road, we expect an output of so much bags. Have we got it or not? Why? And I think that's where we are going. If it is in health, we want to see less diseases, less malaria, and all this kind of thing. Starting from 1617, we shall enforce the law on appointment of accounting officers, and I think that one you have seen. The accounting officers who have outstanding queries are not eligible for appointment, I'm sorry, this financial year. Beginning this financial year. But beginning this year, again, we are going to deal with management of assets of government and also getting outcomes and outputs and efficient delivery of service delivery. Teachers must be supervised now that they are getting salaries. My staff must be supervised to get the outputs here. Let me leave others. If I'm not, I have nothing to do. I should be swept away from here. We cannot continue the way we are doing. This time, we must get outputs, service delivery done. Supervision must take place of the managers, of the MDs. And the MDs are permanent secretaries, the cows. We shall not continue releasing money without getting results out. And we are loud and very clear. We must get results. Let me also, without wasting more time, to say that we expect the next budget to be approved by end of this month. Therefore, the reason why we have moved, unlike in the past, is to enable accounting officers to start procurement now. But not now. They should have started at the time of the budget framework when it was passed by Parliament, when it was January. They have no more cases why they would delay procurement and implementation of government projects. When the government took a reform to have the budget approved, the budget framework paper, when they know your resources in January. So by June, they have 6 months to do all their planning processes of the procurement so that come 1st July, implementation of the next program takes place. We have carried all this to ensure we improve on service delivery. In conclusion, the government of Uganda is fully committed to maintaining fiscal discipline and enhance macroeconomic stability and improve service delivery as we have done. I would like to reiterate that the budget being implemented as approved by is being implemented as approved by Parliament. I call upon civil society continue supporting in our effort in monitoring the service delivery. And when I talk about civil society, I think you also, like the Teachers Association, is a civil society, isn't it? They have been putting a lot of pressure on us to improve these systems, to improve the pay. It's time for us now to demand from them performance. Once again, I wish to thank the press for supporting our budget transparency initiative, and I urge you to make use of our website, which is written here, and where more details will be accessed. Thank you very much. Let me call upon civil society to make their case.
Thanks, Chairperson. Good morning, everybody. All protocols observed. My name is Julius Mukunda, the coordinator for the Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group. Permanent Secretary, we have been with you for almost 2 years, trying to give you quarterly reports, and today I'm just giving you a highlight of what we see has happened the whole year. One, there are a number of issues that we think has happened this year, and hopefully we don't know how they have impacted on your work. One is that, of course, we amended the Public Finance Management Act 3 years before its implementation. we are yet to see whether these amendments have strengthened your functions in office. The regulations, we made our input. We are yet to see the final the final product. Permanent Secretary, this year we have seen unprecedented supplementary budgeting, 1 trillion. And this is something we really fought against when we are designing the Public Finance Management Act. We would like you to put strong measures, since now the law has been amended, specifically to ensure that supplementary budgets come when it is unabsorbable, unavoidable, and unforeseeable. So to do supplementary budgeting for workshops, salaries, trainings, and entertainment, it is an abuse of the budget process. Commendable efforts, Permanent Secretary. 1, timely release of funds to local government, especially to health centers and schools. In our work over the 3 quarters, we have realized that monies have reached these centers by almost 100%, except in instances where headmasters have not gone to check whether they have money on their account. And we have cases where a headmaster has spent almost a month and a half not knowing that money has reached his account. The only thing he tells you, money is not account, but when you get the bank statement, actually money came a long time ago. So we commend you for that. An enhanced participation of CSOs in the planning and the budgeting process. This has been unprecedented. No wonder we are number 4 in Africa and number 1 in the region. Your vigilance to detect fraud, it should be highlighted here. We used to know fraud after 1 year, but now we know fraud within weeks. We know we can't stop it, but detecting it is the biggest and the most important element. Yes, you have managed inflation. Thank you so much, Permanent Secretary. The decentralization payroll, and also the shifting from output to outcome budgeting. These are critical. They will definitely give us. Let me give you the highlights of the findings we have found out. Number 1, when we got the field to monitor how the money is being utilized. 1 is that there is lack of budget information displayed on these health centers. And we have said this, we need your work on this to help citizens demand accountability from these health institutions. It is a directive, it's not being enforced. We would like you to remind the rest. Number 2, absenteeism. It is still very rampant. 36% of the staff on the health centers we visited were not present at the time when we were there. We think that's a very big case. Discrepancies in pupil enrollment figures. The figures you have, the figures that Minister of Education have, are completely different. And as such, when we visited 60 schools to count the enrollment as a sample, we found out that they had 40,828, but for you had the amount of money you sent was for 34,571. So 6,257 people could not get capitation grant. On roads, which is almost my last, is that the use of forced account. Some districts say they don't want it, others say they want it, but we feel in the spirit of promoting decentralization, Minister of Finance can continue to promote the use of forced account so that they can capacitate local governments to be able to do their work. Permanent Secretary, a few things I would like you to do in terms of how we can strengthen this. One thing we look out for, some of these, you have the reports, we gave them to you. So those who want the details, the PS has all these reports for quarter 1, quarter 2, and they're also going to bring you quarter 3. One is that we need to strengthen this particular relationship. Permanent Secretary, this thing is happening because of your goodwill. A formal relationship would be better. 2, you indicated about these press conferences, but we know this is the second one for the entire financial year. We wonder what happened. But we felt that since you are still performing, it would have worked. Publication of the list of accounting officers. It would be prudent that since you can publish the amount of money you are sending to districts, you can also publish the list of accounting officers, and we follow them up. The other important element, which is currently in the debate, Permanent Secretary, is a move by members of Parliament to exempt themselves from paying taxes on their allowances. Despite the noise we are making as citizens, we are still lacking a strong technical advice from the Ministry of Finance to discourage such a behavior. we feel if this happens, it will stop it will stop this precedent, but also it will promote the expansion of our taxation base, and we get more revenues than we want. I thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll try. I'm Margaret Rwabishija, the National Chairperson, Uganda National Teachers Union, and a Member of Parliament elect representing workers. So I'm not yet there. Thank you. First of all, I want to appreciate this initiative where you are updating not only the media, the public, but all stakeholders. If they come on board, to me that's very good. And also I appreciate your initiative for joint monitoring. Uganda National Teachers Union joined you together with the public service and others to move in the field on the issues of salary, pensions, and gratuity payments. We are yet to see, but what I know, the feedback I got, that there's great improvement. Only that I think it ended this month, because they started on 4th to 19th. So I think we shall get more information as we move on, but at least there's a lot of improvement in the area. Maybe the question you asked, which was, I think it could have been rhetoric, are the teachers teaching? As far as I'm concerned, I think the teachers are working. Because one, when we get the grants in time, UPE and USE, then we have less excuse of not working. However, if they are not working, I think also we have come up with a program of quality education campaign, and we have met these DEOs, the whole country, human resource officers, the whole country, and we are continuing to move. Even we also included our members, the leadership in the districts of the union, and the idea was, can we work together so that we make sure that we speak the same language, particularly on issues concerning quality, because some are responsible for the decisions of our members, and others are on close monitoring. Maybe the team that we have not yet met are the inspectors, but we know that they are supervised by the DOs, and we are saying that let the inspectors do their work. They need to be facilitated to do their work, and then all will be well. Because for us, we can only give a peer support mechanism, but we are not the supervisors. But I thank you so much.
Before I move to questions, let me see. We work as a team. Any of my colleagues wants to make one statement which I may have forgotten? Then don't complain outside here. Okay. If that is the case, then we go to the fireworks. But let me first respond to the supplementary budget. First of all, let me to say, we realized that we still, because of the reforms, first of all, there is a lot of vibration still going on. While, for example, the wage bill and the pension and gratuity is still below the target. Okay? So we have not added on more money. We realized because of inaccuracies of accounting officers, you needed some vote at the time of budgeting, what we got from public service. Some votes got more money than they need. Others got under little money. But to move that money from the other person to this one, you do it by supplementary. That's number one. Number two, in transparency, we are trying to get all aid and loans and grants into proper budgeting, what we observe every year. And that is, transition is also taking a huge amount of supplementaries, but it does not require extra resources. I'm giving explanation. So we underestimated those at the time when we made a commitment that supplementals were these vibrations which take place. Oh, it's true also we of course give Electoral Commission and security agencies some money to deal with your security. But that one is slowly will clean out. And therefore, I'm not bothered about that supplementary. And it's important that you do, and I very good go through the numbers. I'm worried about the real supplementary. And I think that's what else we need to discuss and look at. But this one which, well, you and me should be concerned. An accounting officer, a manager, not to know how many people are under in his district is unacceptable. That I agree with you. But I don't want to punish the person who was left out by the accounting officer. A teacher or a school was left out at the time of budgeting by the accounting officers in actuaries. So it's not proper to punish the person, those people, because of the mistake of the accounting office. So it's important that we harmonize together. But having said those, so tax I'm coming. I think I will dodging it. Let me do this. The principle of taxation is equity. And the expert is here. He's looking down because I think he's fearing parent. God Chiza. Mr. Lawrence Chiza. Whether you're a S5 student or a PhD student, the first principle of taxation is the principle of equity. Therefore, if the current, so to say, if it's true, I haven't done work. No, I am clear. If it is true that somebody in MTN, working in MTN, or a teacher in private or government are having these allowances taxed, it's not proper for some people, for me, to use my position not to pay tax. All of us must pay taxes. If it is true. And therefore, if you want our word, it's very clear. The principle of taxation is that all of us must pay taxes. But I also want, I've been very busy. I've seen in the press. I don't know, because I think the argument of MPs are saying other people don't have their allowances paid and these ones are paid. If that's true, also the principle should apply to them. I don't want to be one-sided. But if it's true that we are getting, other people are getting their allowances taxed, that's why, of course, in the past you used to say the civil servants should not pay this tax. We eliminated that. I must be taxed as somebody in the private sector. It's as simple as that. Therefore, if you want to know our position, it's very strong. The principle of taxation of equity, is it equity? Equity must apply to all of us. Are you satisfied? Good. Now, yeah, publish accounting officers, I will do that. There's no danger. I think we are already doing it anyway. The rejections, I think soon you'll have them. There's no danger. You have them. I think those are the issues which were raised. I allow the press and then we finish. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Pietro John is my name, and I work with NTV Uganda. This community still are reporting sluggishness in recovery of business.
Huh?
The business community is still yet to recover in respect to good business. What is your projection vis-a-vis revenue collection, vis-a-vis implementation of projects? And then kindly the accounting officers that you are not going to reappoint, about how much inquiry are they to respond, the accounting officers? Please, the areas on the pension, you're reporting underperformance, by about how much? And perhaps, lastly, you spoke about the shilling. Seems to have an artificial position. The previous conversations you had was spurring a bit of exports. What strategy for the sector, particularly the agricultural sector? Thank you.
NTV. Yes, let me respond to this because you raised many. Anybody who wants to raise an issue regarding this, that's a private sector recovery, accounting officers, full accountability, and then pension and gratuity underperforming, and by how much. So I want anybody who has a question about this, I'm not going to repeat them. Anybody? No. So private recovery, as we said, it depends on how you look at the economy. Our understanding is that if you have a performance of, if the economy grows at 5%, the question then asks, is this coming from public sector? Could it be possible? Or private sector? I haven't gone to distinguish between the two. What we see from signals, what we call signals, is that things are not as bad as many people predict. Say on the streets of Kampala or whatever. What we see is from revenue has been very strong till the end of the first half. Very, very strong. Reflecting, that's one signal we normally get to get whether you are getting your growth rate or not. And the question is this, if that's correct, if I'm correct, it can't be private sector which is, public sector which is paying taxes. It must be private sector. So, yes, I think the rise of interest rates at the time when the exchange rate was depreciating had many private, especially small businesses. We admit that one. But we expect, we see confidence in the economy is very high now. Has come out very quickly in spite of all of you remaining yup in politics. We don't eat politics, ladies and gentlemen. So, we'll come back to you on that one, but we don't find that significant that the private sector is in such a bad shape as talked to from numbers point of view. But I will allow honest add on. The accounting officers, I have told you, in any case, many have already been interdicted. So, they have made my life difficult. Easy. But those who will not fully account for the money, I think the total now is like 12 or 13 total. I will not reappoint them until they have fully accounted for the money. But that's the law. I follow the law. If they fail, I will not reappoint them. It's me who appoint. This one is not shared by me and you, journalists. I will not. Time has come for us to account for government resources. Next year we're expanding the scope. You must get the outputs. You must get the outcomes. It's not about just financial accountability. You must get it. You ask for a loan. We process the loan for you. Then you slept. It is not being absorbed. I think time has come for us to punish you. I hope I'm not a couple myself, but that's beside the point. Now, then you said pension. As of third quarter, I think I will give it, you'll find it in my speech. I think. At the end of third quarter, pension and gratuity had underperformed by how many billions? We shall come. Huh? No? Minus. Yes, so it can't be 16. That arithmetic is the 160. By third quarter was underperforming by 116 billion. But surely, all this is not ghost. That we know, because there are many people whom people have drained in accounting. I mean, putting on the payroll, which is a shock, because by now we should have finished a long time ago, verifying whether this human being ever existed or not. But ask those accounting officers. But we believe we have made significant within there. We shall make significant recovery. I mean, saving as a result of waiting up wrong guys. Thank you very much. Brothers, the economy. Huh? Oh no, yes, the sharing. Yes, the sharing. Two things had happened. The sharing should have depreciated. That's not in doubt. We needed it badly. Remember my argument. But it's over what we call overshot its equilibrium path by overshooting. So it's slowly coming back. Why? Because there was hell of speculation by you guys, read by you, the press, that Mahakal is lying, is not going to hold pressure, political pressure, that Museveni is going to use political pressure. I am confident that we have come out here clean, very clean. And therefore, now everybody is starting to realize that there was an overkill. So it's coming back to its equilibrium path. Where it will, if it does try to overshot by, undershot by appreciating its equilibrium path, it shall take action. The governor will take action, I have no doubt. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. P.S. Mr. P.S., my name is Yasin from The Monitor.
I just wanted to say, and in your statement you allude to it, that we revised growth to 5%, because we had a projection of about 5.8 this year. But given the statements we see in the economy, that's why the revision to address the concerns. And at the beginning of the year, when the minister presented the budget speech to Parliament, he said the economy would be driven by public investment and private sector. Because of those two challenges, in terms of what he called low confidence, and also implementation, delayed implementation of some of the projects, and the revision of the GDP, which answers this question.
Mr. P.S., the question of low absorption capacity has been on for too long. Before you came to office, and now we are still seeing MDS not absorbing money, and you continue to release. Don't you think time has come to punish those who are not absorbing public funds? Two, we've just heard from NMS. Your budget monitoring group, budget monitoring unit has just said NMS has not spent 6 billion. NMS is denying that maybe your people didn't have information. They are also saying over 80 billion worth of money needed for medicine. You've refused to give them a supplementary, yet you are providing funds for EC to buy machines. What is going on? Yet you are emphasizing service delivery in this country.
Now, two things. First, Yasin, by the way, I hope you are not a part of the lobby for supplementary expenditure. That's what you have just said. You have not said I have not given them money as budgeted. That we have reduced 100% for the drugs. But Yasin, what he was saying, I hope you heard, saying please give more supplementary expenditure to that one. Let me do this. I think there is some truth there. Because of the exchange rate depreciation, they needed more money. Yasin should have said it that way than what was budgeted. But we had programmed it out of a road, which has been Parliament, and we hope now it has gone there. Parliament will help us be efficient. And the reason why the Parliament delayed this round of PTA Bank is that the press said these people are going to consume it. So you'd campaign the loan badly when we are going to buy these drugs, counterpart funding for the electricity, water, and whatever for projects to be implemented. You'd campaign it, and now you are hanging me. That was the purpose of that's the purpose of that road. So please, if they could pass it today, we'll provide money to the NMS to buy drugs, which were brought down by the exchange rate depreciation. I think that was there another question? Absorption. You are concerned. Now I think I read out what were the major causes of the problem. Yes, I agree. Accounting officers must be punished. I said it. Time has come for us to punish accounting officers who government processes their own and delays its implementation because it was processed for a purpose. I provide you money, and the money comes back to the consolidated account. Why didn't you protune time? You see, this is the problem which I agree with you. Some of them, you can't imagine. Some of them, up to now, they have not yet finished the procurement process. So we are remaining with just 2 months. You think that those people will implement the project? Of course, at the end of the year, as per the law, I'll sweep the money back to consolidated account. Then they'll start running to you. Yasin. They will start running to you to write the treasury, wow. No! Punish them. Why didn't they pursue in time? Finish the procurement process. You see what I mean? And that's what we must deal with. I agree with you. There is no argument. I totally agree with you. Time to deal with these issues. Next. Yes, sir. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, I was saying that pass the loan, let the parliament pass the loan, and I move because I don't have the extra resources. Until the loan is. But the point I'm making is that that's the little money. It's not a lot of money of the exchange rate. In any case, the exchange rate is now appreciating anyway. But all the money was released, for sure.
Mr. P.S., there are questions that have been filed online.
And next year we have increased the budget of the NMS.
So there are questions
Cater for that issue. Yes?
Okay, there are questions that have been filed online. Questions are on health insurance. The question is that you're having a lot of public officers and the private sector who need urgent Medicare. Is it in your plans to ensure that health insurance is provided for? The second question you've already addressed was the shame list. Somebody calls it a shame list of accounting officers. He says that you've published accounting officers before, but you've not published the shame list. So the question is whether you will, and he said that don't be surprised if some people walk to your office without crosses. I don't want to use the word they used to ask you to publish the shame list. The final question is how much money have you collected from monies that have not been spent in the last financial year, and how much do you envisage to collect that the unspent balances for MDGs?
Health insurance, I don't know. Huh?
Yeah, on the issue of health insurance, first of all, the ministry has now completed the bid. They have actually submitted it to the Ministry of Finance for a certificate. So we are examining the bid, looking at its visibility, and also the whole implementation mechanism So once finance is in agreement, we shall issue the certificate of financial implications, and then Parliament will consider the bid. So that's what is going on. Now, on the area issue of NMS, which you have seen asked. Now, on the question of the absorption of the money, we cross-checked the information which earlier on came from our report, and it was actually found that there was an error. Indeed, NMS had absorbed all the money. So it was an accounting error that had occurred. So we have actually settled that issue. We have actually communicated to NMS. And we did apologize to NMS. They had absorbed the 6 billion, and we did clarify. But of course, as the PS has said, NMS has got 100% of its budget for this year. So even as we wait, for the loan, we expect that NMS should also expedite spending what they have. Okay, because as far as I know, they haven't absorbed 100% of the money which we have released. We have released 100%, they are yet to spend 100%. So once they spend 100%, hopefully the loan will also be, considered by Parliament, then we can give additional resources.
And spent balances, I don't have the number of CAF. I'll send it to you if you give me the, yes, to end the I'll get it from Accountant General, but must be in order General's report anyway. The final one, the one of check, the external auditor's report. But we'll get them. But it was significant, especially for much of it was from local governments. Okay, I'm told we are remaining with the broadcast, and we are remaining with 6 minutes. So 5 minutes. So we need. You want to go back to repeat what has been done?
No, PS, I'm not going back. I'm called Sam Mutabazi from Uganda Road Sector Support Initiative. And my question is about the Northern Bypass project, which is by the Ministry of Finance. It's your own project, although UNRA is supervising it on your behalf. Are they appraising you of what is going on? It is quite behind schedule, and we understand that behind the doors, the EU proposed Mota-Engil to be the contractor, but they left some contractors who were in the know. And it is finding very many problems or challenges. They have extended by 1 year, but it's not likely to meet the target.
But you are taking it too wrong. You have raised your question. Why can't you allow me to answer? Is there somebody from Maris's department? Or these people are from where? Now, let me do this. My understanding, the road belongs to, does not belong to Ministry of Finance. For us to provide financing. Okay? That may make that clarification. 2, my understanding is that the delay was caused by compensations. And I think I'm well informed. And those have now been largely resolved. So we don't expect more problems on that road. Thank you. Next, finally, the final one. But I answered, you didn't hear. I said there was an overshooting beyond its equilibrium pass of depreciation which we needed. It's now appreciating. However, if it overappreciates beyond its equilibrium pass, I'm almost sure that the governor will take action, because he's the one who takes action. Will take action to ensure that exports are not hurt, because that's the key target. Okay? And 2, beginning this year, now they talk about exports. We have now put up, we have prioritized the export sector in the expenditure side of government. So, I don't know whether you have gone, you see coffee seedlings, tea seedlings, tourism, we have increased all this money. and we intend to increase it sharply over the next 5 years as money goes much more in the export sector and agro-processing. Yes?
Permanent Secretary, one point is about your commitment to protect the shilling. We thank you for that you will be paying the contractors in shillings because that's what you have. Would you kind of take a further step in enforcing that even those trade dealings internally, we can use our own currency, like how Ethiopia, South Africa, and other countries are doing in strengthening their shilling? Thank you.
Let me do this. Let me do this. I know where you are heading. As the Secretary Treasury, I deal with public resources. The current policy is a liberalized policy. And there's no evidence, first of all, that those countries have done better with their shilling. Go check the rand. Has it done better than the shilling? Because we are much more liberal. Take the naira. Ghana came on, try to do what you are trying to do, the other way around. So, I think that let's do much more studies. But for me, I was trying to protect public expenditure. Your taxes, you can imagine somebody hiring a building in Kampala here, in dollars, and when the shilling depreciates, you have to pay more taxes. That's what I was trying to protect, we are trying to protect as a minister. And that one is within our domain. But there's no evidence that if you pay rent to Mr. X, that hurts the economy. No. And we intend not to go in that direction. Thank you very much. I want to take this opportunity. Thank you very much for the continued support. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a big task here now. Not good results, because currently now we have good results. Very good or excellent results by end of this year, by end of this next financial year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. P.S. Ladies and gentlemen, we would want to thank the civil society organizations who have joined us. We thank the ministry staff who have participated in this, but most important, the media for relaying the message. However, Mr. P.S., we have another function in the afternoon at 3 p.m. in the minister's office, where a credit facility is going to be signed with the government of Uganda and the German bank for the development of an inland port at Bukasa. This is to request the media to be available in the 7th floor. I think you can say the PS is now implementing his drive.
This,